Hi, and welcome to HDIM 2421. I am Dawn Goodsell, and I will be your instructor for this quarter. I will be your instructor for all of the coding classes, so please let me know via the email system if you have any problems with understanding the concepts behind using the book. I'm going to go through it briefly with you today, and I'm hoping that I'm going to do some more videos every week with a tutorial working on how to drill down to find your code in the alpha section and in the back of the book. Okay, for today, this is just a welcome video. I'm going to show you a little bit about the course itself and also a little bit about how to use the book. We won't have necessarily a whole lot of coding this week. It's just basic fundamentals and information on what you've read in the book as far as your textbook and workbook is concerned. So when you open up the course, you should see this. This is your home page with information in regards to the course itself. Most of our home pages for HDIM look about the same. I did add some quirks in here about the college protocol for instructors on responding to emails. It's with the policy with MCC, it's 48 hours. I do have emails that go to my phone. Now, please be patient on weekends because we don't work 24/7 on the weekends. We answer emails as needed, but please keep that in mind that we do have family life too as well. So you can go ahead and email us and we will respond as fast as possible that we can get to it. But please keep in mind that overall there's a 48-hour window there that for emails, and that's because of weekends. Okay. When you go to do your homework and if the computer counts your answer as wrong in the system, I don't need you to email me telling me that. I look at everything when the module closes. That means that the due date when it closes is when I start grading that module. And I will grade everyone's homework to make sure that if there's points that need to be allotted, I will give them, okay? So please don't email me with those because I'd rather have emails with people asking questions versus stuff that will be taken care of once the module closes, okay? If you're going to email, I will show you how to email if you need to email me, so that way I have your name attached to the course and so I don't have to guess on which class you're in. As you can see, this class is large. It's got 30-some students in it. So it's really important that I need to know which class you're in. I do have 7 classes this quarter. So please, please, whatever you do, I will show you how to do that so you make sure that you email correctly so I get it. Okay. I do want to make note of the fact that we do have a census date, and a census date is important to you and to me because of the fact that if you do not submit a homework assignment by that census date, which is March 24th, you will be dropped from the class. And this is an MCC policy straight across the board. It has to do with financial aid. So we have to abide by this policy. So please, whatever you do, watch your homework and due dates assignments. You should have something due on the 18th. We have a module due already on March 18th, so make sure that you get that module done and you get something submitted so you do not get deleted from the course. Okay, so this is your homepage that we're looking at here. Over here on the left-hand side is basically all of your file folders like we had when we were in Blackboard. Your syllabus is located under syllabus. This is the only place you're going to find it. Okay, so this is, and it's really nice. And if you notice down at the end, these are all of your assignments. And if you're missing something, all you have to do is click on it. It will actually take you to that assignment. So it's a really nice tool. Again, on here, it actually gives your census date too as well, that you must have something done on March 24th or you will be taken out of the class. Okay, there's nothing else in here spectacular other than the fact that I will be conducting Zoom meetings for you guys 7:00 p.m. on Monday nights, and that is strictly for questions. It is not for lecture. It is strictly for questions and anything that you might have. It will be from the hour of 7 to 8 o'clock. I have to cut you off because at 8 o'clock I have another class coming in from 8 to 9. So to keep that in mind, if you have questions, you can do that during that Monday night. And the first one will be this next Monday night, which will be, let me bring my calendar up. The first night will be the 15th, okay, which will be our first night for 7 o'clock p.m. for questions. Okay. Response time, again, that was for emails, so you don't have to worry about that. Feedback is in the assignments. So that's where you're going to get your feedback from. If you've missed something, I'm going to give you a little guidance on why you missed it or how you missed it, okay? It is up to you to go back and see if you missed a question, to go back and look at the correct answer to see how to find it. And if you have questions, let me know, but you have to do the legwork first, okay? The best way to learn from your mistakes is to go back and re-step what you did in order to get to that answer and how do you get to the new one, okay? Let's see here. There's the grading scale here, which is also actually in the course too, and I'll show you that as well. There's no attendance in this class because it's an online class. So there is no attendance points for that. Okay. The next one is the announcement page. Now this one once a week, I put something in there in regards to when I'm done grading a module. So if you say, hey, have you graded this module yet? Can you grade, has my grade assignment been done? Look at the announcement page first, because I will tell you when I'm done grading a module. So if it's something that I said that I've already graded that module and you want to make sure that I've graded it, number one, first look at that assignment to see if I've added points. Go back into that assignment, look at the ones you missed and see if I've added a point to it. Because if I have, I've already looked at it. If not, send me an email and I'll take a look at it. Okay, so this is where you're going to see your modules as far as my updates and things like that, as far as what and when I'm done updating that module as far as with your grades are concerned and it's finalized. Okay, now going into, you're really not going to use the discussion tab a lot. You're going to go directly to the modules. Okay, modules will have your lessons, so that's everything that's in the course. I do want you to kind of go through and look at these. If you haven't looked at them before, for those of you that are in HDIM 2421 that are from the HIMS program, this is all new information in regards to how we conduct our classes for HDIM. It might be a little different from HIMS, but you might want to take a look at it. And then modules, we go strictly into the modules and the assignments. Now, once you get into assignment, if you actually click on directions, that will tell you exactly what you have to do for that module. If you click on, we're going to click on this, and there's a next here at the bottom right-hand corner here where my cursor is. And if you click on that, it's going to take you directly to the objectives. And then once you get there, you can go directly on and you can go to the PowerPoint presentation. Now you have options here. You can wait for it to load up or you can click on it and you can actually load it yourself, okay? And once you're done with that, then you can move on to the next one. We'll let it load real quick. There we go. Okay. You might have to go back up. My cursor is blocked. Okay, so all right, you might have to close out that window, it looks like, before you can go on. So then we're going to move on to the homework assignments, because usually that's how it takes. So then this here, I've actually attempted to do this. I didn't answer them. I just wanted to make sure how it looked after a student did it. But it'll bring up your textbook review, and then all you have to do is click on it to start it. Once you've already done it, it will show up here after you've submitted, and you can actually bring it back up again and click on attempts. Okay, so that's how you kind of look at your answers once you've already done them. Okay, all right, so moving on to the next one. If I can get out of here. Okay, so that's the textbook one. And the textbook for this week, like I said, it's not going to show you, it's not going to have a whole, it's all information. It's not a multiple choice. It's not coding, okay? Then you have your discussion board. This one here this week is really easy. This one is here, watch a video and then answer some information in regards to this video. And usually going forward, we'll have we'll have actual coding scenarios that you do in a group. You will code it with ICD-10 CM codes only, and you will submit your answer and respond to another student before the designated due dates. Okay, there is no answering one the first 3 days of class, then answering another one. It's nothing like that. As long as you have your original post and another post in by the due date, you're fine. So there's no due dates when it comes to your first and second posts. It's strictly having it done by the due date of 1 week. Okay, and then we have our assessment. Again, resume quiz. You go ahead and hit the quiz button and then go ahead and submit it, and then you should be able to see the attempt here after you're done. You can go back and see your answers. Okay, if at any time you cannot see and go back in and see your answers, please let me know, because Canvas is pretty tricky when it comes to that. Okay, that's why I've had ones in here where I've played with them to make sure they work. And then again, chapter 2, PowerPoint presentation, bring it up. Then you have your chapter 2 quiz, and then you have your assessment for chapter 2, and then we'll be moving on to module 2. So that's what you have to do for this week. So as long as you keep using your next button, you can make sure that you have everything done. Another source after that, another tab on the left-hand side is grades. And this is your personal grades on what you've got accomplished so far. This will tell you over here your score, the status, and then out of how many questions that you got right. So, and then this is, and then right now I've got 25 because I'm terrible. I'm a terrible student. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Just that was only one thing that I did. So anyway, so moving on. So then people, if you want to look at, find any people, you can actually, that would mean students or instructors or anything like that. You can look those up here. All of the students, there's a lot of them with pictures in them. That's really cool. Okay. And then that is pretty much it for this side, for the tabs. Now, over on the far side, you have dashboard, you've got your calendar. The calendar, if you bring it up, I'm not sure if, yes, it does. Okay, wasn't sure if it was going to or not, but it does. Okay, so our chapters are actually in here. So all of our modules, 1 through 10, if you need to go to another month, you can hit them up here at the top left-hand corner, and you can go into April and then finally May to see your final cutoff for May. If you notice, you have a little extra time here when it comes to Mod 10. And that's nice because if I have to move around dates, it's nice that we have that extra time frame a little bit in there to play with. We don't always, but this time we do. To email me, underneath the calendar tab is the inbox. And that, when you do this, it's blocked because we're not live yet, I do believe is probably the deal. Okay. So, but when you go in here, hit the inbox and then go ahead and email me through here, and that will actually tell me that you're a student from this course. So I know which course you're talking about. I did have somebody email me. I've gotten emails from people asking me, is this the books I need for the class? And I have to respond back with, which class are you talking about? Because I don't know which class you're talking about. And I don't want to assume that I know that we're on the same page, because that gets me into trouble. So I want to make sure you know that. Okay. Now that we went through the course, and the big thing is you're all asking because you want to know, how do I use this big fat book that I had to purchase? And first of all, this big fat book, you're going to be using a lot, because in the 24-21 class, it's 10 weeks of using this book. In the 24-31 class, which is your CPT class and HCPC class, you will still be using this book. okay, the big fat book. And then for those people that are in HDIM, you will move again to 2432, and you will still be using this big fat book. So you'll be using it a lot, okay? For those people that are in the HIMSS program, you'll be moving on to 2910 for your third class of coding, and that is your prep class, and you'll be using this big fat book a lot, okay? Let's walk through how to use this book. But first of all, I want to make sure that you guys got the textbooks. So you should have a textbook and a workbook that look a lot alike. They say 321 on it, code it, okay? And it will say on it, one will not say anything but 321 code it, and the other one will say 321 workbook, okay? We are using the 2020 version right now. Now, for whatever reason, if by chance that you don't have the 2020 and you have the version before that, that's totally fine, okay? All questions are really in the computer system, so just so you know. So hopefully it will not come up and it won't be an issue, okay? Okay, so for this, the only difference with the two, I should probably tell you this, the only difference between the two books, the two versions is the chapter numbers are different. So I want to make sure you know that. So if by chance you do not have the 2020 version, please contact me and we can map it out for you so that way you kind of on the same page as far as what you need to read for each specific chapters, and you're on the same page. Watch your headers. As far as in the course, it tells you what chapter title it is. Watch those titles because that will make a big difference too if you do have the older version. Okay, so with this is your ICD-10 CMCP or expert coding book. Hopefully you've got this by now. You need it. You can't get by with not having it, okay? And whatever you do, you guys do not try and buy the electronic version of any of the coding manuals because the two that I've seen are terrible. You can't use the manuals electronically. Now there is computer software systems that are good that you will probably use once you get out in the real world, but the ebooks are not good when it comes to trying to find codes. Okay, so with this book, the first thing that we want to look at is what the main term of a code is. And the main term is what's wrong with the person or the patient. And it can't be an organ system, okay? So if it's heart is the location, okay? What's wrong with them, maybe, for example, failure, okay? Failure is what's wrong with them. The location is the heart. So you want to look for failure in the alpha section, and then you want to go to heart. So in the book, it's alphabetized like a phone book, so A to Z. So if you want to go in the book and go to failure, and then from failure go down to heart, and then we'll see what kind of codes we have. Now I'm using my 2020 book because I have my 2021 packed away for Thursday's class. So, but we get to failure, we go down to heart, okay, and then let's see, heart, and then you notice after heart there's a lot of codes. So we need more information than heart. So if we have congestive heart failure, we can go from heart down to congestive, and then we can find that I50.9, okay? So we go to failure first, down to heart, down to congestive, and then we find our code. Now you notice there's a lot of indentions going on here in this code set, okay? And that just means that if by chance we went to congestive heart, we went down, or we went to failure heart, down to congestive, and then if we were looking for with rheumatic fever, indented you see with rheumatic fever, and you see that I01.8. That is the code you would use. You wouldn't use the I50.9 and the I01.8. You would use the I50 or the I01.8. Okay, that's if it's said with rheumatic fever. So you have to be very careful. Indentions are very important here. This means that congestive heart failure is included with that code with the IO 1.8 for rheumatic fever. Same thing with inactive or quiescent with chorea IO 9.81. Congestive is included with that code, okay? If you're looking for a congestive heart failure for a newborn, you would go down to that newborn code right underneath that next one there, and you'll see congestive down to newborn, and you would only use that P2 9.0, which does include, again, that congestive part, okay? So you have to be very careful about using those indentions. Now, on the videos that are going forward, hopefully as soon as I get into VLab and I get into the coding systems, I can actually do this online for you and show you and walk you through it. So hopefully this will work. So this is kind of how you do it. And again, like I said, you're not going to have a lot of coding this week, and I will hopefully get another video out to you next week for the next module. So if you're working ahead, or if you plan on working ahead, please be aware that those videos, that video may not be out until right before that module closes. So if you're working on your homework, don't submit your homework, just do your homework the best you can. Wait for the video, see if there's any information that you need to include, or you need to tweak your answers before you send them, okay? So please wait for the videos. You can work ahead, just keep, save your answers and don't submit, okay? All right, that is really all I have for now as far as information for you. I hopefully that helps you a little bit. Oh, I should probably tell you, I forgot, I'm so sorry. I'm really, I think you guys ought to know all this and you don't, but once you find that code in the front of the book, I forgot a main part. You need to go to that back of the book and you need to look up that code. So the front of the part is the alpha section. You take that code and you look it up in the back of the book, which is the tab section, okay? And you go and find that code. We had, for example, congestive heart failure, I-50.9. So let's go to the back of the book and let's look for I-50.9. And it's in the red section if that helps you. And what we do is we verify, number one, that the code is correct. Number two is if we need any more characters, okay? So I-50.9 says heart failure unspecified, and there is nothing in front of it that says it needs more characters. So that sounds good to me. And it does say congestive heart failure underneath there. Those are all inclusive things that actually correlate with I-50.9, so we are good to go, okay? Now, with the back of the book, if by chance that we needed another character, look at I-51 right under there. In front of it, it says it needs 4 characters. That's what that little red box is for, which means that you have to code one of those codes underneath it, and you can't just code I-51, okay? So again, one more time, when you see, for example, go to I-51.8, which is on the next column there, and it says it needs 5 characters, you have to go down and you have to add 5. It has to have a total of 5. So I-51.81 or I-51.89 are your 2 options, okay, that you have to use. You cannot just code I-51.8 because it's not complete, okay? All right. Whew. I'm glad I did that. Okay, so, all right, so that's all I have now, I promise. So let's get through the first week, kind of answer our questions that we have as far as what from the textbook, and then we'll move on from there, okay? Email me if you have any questions, and I will see you soon.